Hello, what's going on? You're on Wildfire Radio.
Well, what's going on is I'm in the airport here in Charlotte, about to get on the flight to Philadelphia in the next 15 minutes. So we got to make this short and sweet. It's Jerry the King Lawler.
Jerry Lawler's on our show! Yeah. We've been dying to have you on, sir.
The fanfare was amazing there. Your studio audience sounds huge.
It's deafening here. It really is.
Yes.
It's hard to keep the excitement down. We were just talking about the whole Brock Lesnar going to UFC thing, and them kind of like teasing at if he loses at SummerSlam, he's not coming back to the WWE. Did you have any opinion on that? Did you want to weigh in on that, or like what's your current thoughts on that?
Well, you know, I'm certainly not really real close to the situation, but my first opinion is that, or my first thought when I heard that was it was a negotiation ploy. I mean, you know, Brock or anybody that's in that situation where their contract is about to be up and they want to renegotiate or you know, maybe do something different. I think you got to keep all your options open. And I think that, you know, that was it's funny that all of this talk about the UFC came up right here at the time that his WWE contract was about to expire, you know. So yeah. I mean, that's just the way things work. It was funny. I just was leaving Memphis a few minutes ago, and I passed D'Angelo Williams in the airport. He stopped me. We were talking for a few minutes, and I said, well, did you sign a deal with with the TNA guys, and he said, no, that was just a one-time thing. And he said, so, you know, I'm certainly open to doing something with the WWE as well. And so, and then we started talking about football, and our other good friend is Gary Barnidge, who was with the Cleveland Browns, and he got cut this past season, and I asked if Antonio would talk to him, and he said, man, I just left him at the airport before I came here to Memphis, and he was saying that Gary has had 4 offers from other teams to play, but he just really doesn't want to play anymore, and which is a crazy thing. Of course, he's still being paid by the Cleveland Browns for this season or for this year, and he's just not that excited to play again. And you know, that may be the same situation with Brock Lesnar. I don't know. I mean, you know, he just may not be excited to continue on with the WWE, and just may want to go another path. But you know, I think at the bottom line, or at the end of the day, it's probably going to come down to who offers him the best deal.
Yeah, go where the money goes. That's pretty much everybody's.
Unfortunately, that's pretty much the way of the world. That's what almost everybody. And you know what? And a lot of times, you know, people will say, "Oh gosh," you know. I mean, they'll be upset with an athlete's decision, but at the same time, if they were in their place, they would do the exact same thing. You go where you can make the best opportunity, the best financial deal for yourself, because you're looking out for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. King, do you have any plans to step in the octagon anytime soon? If Dana White gave you an offer, UFC, following Brock Lesnar's footsteps.
I wouldn't even step in that 6-sided ring that
TNA
has, much less an 8-sided one.
For the X division, yeah.
You're on your way to.
No, I have no plans to do that at all.
You're on your way to Philadelphia. You're going to be at the 2300 Arena tomorrow. Is that correct?
I'm going to be there along with my old pal. I'm getting a chance to catch up with good old JR tomorrow.
Yeah,
we're going to be there together, signing, taking some pictures, and all that sort of stuff. That's always a lot of fun. And then tomorrow night I'm going to be wrestling in Hamburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the old Hamburg Fieldhouse.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. I used to say, it seemed like I used to say, I'm looking forward to every now and then getting back in the ring. But my gosh, I wrestled 3 times last week, and then now this week again, and 2 times next week. So it seems like I'm putting on the tights and boots more than I am. Sitting around at tables signing autographs.
Yeah. Oh man, it's very cool that you're coming down here. But you were just in Philadelphia not too long ago for the WWE show, the pay per view. Right. How did you find that? I was watching the pre-show that you were on with Renee Young, and you mentioned the Philadelphia crowd and how they're a wild crowd, and they threw snowballs at Santa Claus and things like that. What did you think about the Philadelphia crowd for that pay-per-view? It seemed like they were kind of I don't want to say they were dead, but they
I was thinking dead. Yeah.
But they weren't. It didn't feel like a Philadelphia wrestling crowd. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know. You know what? I certainly sat and watched every minute of the show, and I thought that there were just matches that they were into more than others, and some they seemed less enthusiastic about it, and yeah, that's just the way it goes. So when you get a pay-per-view event, there's going to be it's pretty loaded from top to bottom, but still they're not in the certain fans are not invested in every match. They just and we all know what a great talent Nakamura is, but you got to admit, and I think he admitted that his match with Baron Corbin was just not, it's not neither one of their shining moments.
Right.
And just those kind of things happen, and the crowd realizes it. And the crowd, they may not get into certain matches if the performance is not up to par. That's just that's the way of the world, and that's that was just, I think, happened in a couple of matches that night.
Nowadays, with it's seeming like sort of like the windows are open for you to peek behind the curtain in wrestling. And I was comparing it earlier today to like back in your day when you had the feud, and everyone was like curious of what was real and what was fake, and it's like creating a buzz around the business not being work. Like what would you see like nowadays that could change it back to that, if it could ever get back to that?
Well, that's like the old saying, trying to put the genie back in the bottle. Closing the barn gate after the cows have gotten out. I don't know if it can be done. I really don't. I don't know. And especially with social media, when you have, certain people going on television and being a hardcore bad guy or heel or whatever, even I'm so old school that I even hate to say the word heel. It's just that's pulling the curtain back to me,
Yeah.
But when you have people going on TV and trying to make everybody despise them, but then on social media, or on another venue, they're showing everybody what a really in real life nice person they are. That kind of stuff makes it difficult for anybody to get, that deeply invested in believing in things anymore. It's just a different day and time. That's why it's called World Wrestling Entertainment. It's an entertainment form now instead of being a more physical, or what we used to, we used to try to imply to everybody that it was a sporting event, and we've now admitted that it's entertainment. And when people ask me about it, they say, like if somebody ever says to me, "Oh, I don't like wrestling because it's not real," I just say, "Well, look, do you like movies?"
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh yeah, I love movies." And I just say, "Well, when you see Tom Cruise get shot, do you think he's really dead, or what's the deal?" It's all entertainment. Everything that's on television is entertainment.
Right.
Even the news now is entertainment.
Yeah,
it's
right.
fake news. What the heck?
Fake news.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you really quick, do you think with that buzz that wrestling used to create, as far as like getting people talking, you think that there's a bit of that when it comes to the Mayweather-McGregor stuff and the press that's all going around and the promos that they're doing, the press conferences? Like, what's your weigh-in on that fight and that situation?
Well, yeah. Oh my gosh, those guys and both of their companies, and both of their sports, boxing and MMA and all of this kind of stuff, or whatever it is, UFC. They are playing the hand perfectly. They're going to capitalize to the hilt. This is going to be the biggest pay-per-view and the most money generated of anything ever in history. So they're obviously doing it right. But I think what is like the crowning jewel on this, or what is the icing on the cake, is the two personalities. It's Mayweather and it's Conor McGregor when it boils down to it. And these guys have bigger than life personas. And in the WWE, when we had Stone Cold Steve Austin, when we had The Rock, when we had Mr. McMahon, marching out there every single week, those were bigger than life personalities that create buzz past past the hardcore wrestling fans. You know, I mean, there was a time when the WWE and what Stone Cold was doing was talked about it around water coolers at offices every day. You know, and I swear, one time I was in the Cleveland Indians locker room, and they were about to play the New York Yankees. Charlie Manuel was the manager of the Cleveland Indians, and he had several scouts in his office. They were talking about, I think it was getting ready for the college draft or something like that. And they were about 30 minutes away from playing the Cleveland Indians. And I was there with Travis Hafner, who was playing for the Indians at the time. And Travis said, "Hey, King, just stick your head in there and wave at Charlie. He's a big fan, you know." And so I just kind of stuck my head in and waved. And Charlie Manuel jumps up from his desk and told all these guys, "Hey, get out! I got to talk to the King for a minute." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And he calls me into his office. He closes the doors. He goes around behind his desk, sits down, looks over at me, puts his elbows on his desk, and said, "Man, they really beat the hell out of Stone Cold last night, didn't they?" And I was like in shock. It was great, you know, and that's the kind of buzz that was out there. And it wasn't just your hardcore wrestling fan. Everybody was talking about wrestling and watching it at that time. And the same thing goes when you had The Rock and you know, by almost the same measure, John Cena at one time. But I think right now they're looking for that magnetic personality, that person that can really draw in, you know, those outlying fans, you know, the fans that don't tune in every week, but all of a sudden if they hear, you know, enough people saying, "Man, you got to turn on Monday Night Raw, you got to turn on SmackDown to see this guy," then you get those fans in there. And you know, I don't know. I think I'm not saying somebody like The Rock or Stone Cold will never come along again, or John Cena or whatever, but you know, that's what the WWE is always looking for.
Do you see anybody on the roster that could, you know, fulfill that role? Or, you know, I know you're doing a lot of indie shows and getting around. Do you see anybody on the indies that maybe, wow, the WWE should sign this kid? You know, he's going to be the future.
You know, I got to admit that I'm not a good barometer. Like when watching the other matches on the indie shows, it's like I don't know. I just feel like I've watched enough wrestling in my life that I'm not crazy. You know, that's not what I do when the opening bell goes off on one of the indie shows. I'm not sitting there already dressed and everything, waiting to watch the matches. Mm-hmm. So I don't really get a chance to see a lot of the guys to know, you know, that much about who would be, especially not, you know, who would be the next John Cena or anything like that.
Right.
Is there speaking of you know, you on the indie circuit and things like that, going back previously from WWE back when you were in Memphis, not that was a really Indian promotion. I guess that'd be back in the territory days, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. But back in Memphis, I was doing some research on you because, you know, all the Memphis wrestling and the AWA and stuff like that. It was before my time, so I was looking up some.
No, thanks for making me feel old.
Oh no,
that's okay.
Not what I meant. But you know, I was just going back and looking at some stuff, and I saw the I believe it was Memphis Wrestling Southern Heavyweight Championship. You won that 52 times. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, but that also means I lost it 52 times.
I just never heard of it. It just the number shocked me, and I thought it was a typo.
Well, no, but see, what you got to realize is we had wrestling every single night of the week, and sometimes 3 times on Saturdays. I mean, you know, we did a show a Monday night in a live event Monday night in Memphis, Tuesday night in Louisville, Wednesday night in Evansville, Indiana, Thursday night in like Lexington, Kentucky, or Jackson, Tennessee, and Friday night in Tupelo, Mississippi, or Huntsville, Alabama, and Saturday night in Jonesboro or Nashville. So we were wrestling every single day, every night of the week, and that was for 30 years. So, you know, there was a lot of opportunity.
So you could lose and win the championship every week.
Yeah, so
exactly. I mean, sometimes that happened. I would win it on a Monday night and then come back in a return match the following week and lose it, and then come back in the following match the following week and win it back. So, yeah, that happened a lot. But, you know, that's one of my claims to fame is that I've won more championship matches than any wrestler in this business history. Yeah. 168 championships, you know.
Wow.
What did you think of the CM Punk debut in the UFC and the possibility of him ever coming back to the WWE?
Yeah, that's another situation I'm not close to at all. Nobody in the WWE ever mentions the guy. I think there's ongoing legal some legal stuff going on, but you just don't talk about him. I don't ever hear him mentioned up there or anything. I don't know. Ours has always been a business where you never say never. Jerry Jarrett, my partner in Memphis, he used to say, I'd book Satan himself if he'd put asses in the seats. and that's the way of most promoters. But in the case of CM Punk, I think he might be one guy that you won't ever see back there again. But like I said, never say never.
But getting back to the event tomorrow at the 2300 Arena, there's going to be a lot of some people from the past and as well as from the present. I'm trying to not sound like old timers are going to be there. I'm not trying not to insult you again, but
yeah. Oh, you know what I thought you were going to. What direction I thought you were going in? I thought you were going to say there are going to be a lot of former ECW fans there, and they're going to remember
at the bingo hall.
Remember the things I said about that building. Remember, I once said that building should be made out of toilet paper because everything that is in it is, well, you know what I said.
Yeah.
So there may be some people that come there and remind me what I thought of ECW, which was extremely crappy wrestling.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say, is there anyone in particular that you're looking forward to seeing? Obviously you're looking forward to seeing JR again, but is there anybody that you've heard of that's going to be there that's that you're like, oh wow, I haven't seen that guy in forever. I can't wait to see him tomorrow.
Yeah, actually, a lot of guys. I mean, there are a lot of people that when I saw the list of names, it's so impressive. I swear, I said to myself, "Oh my gosh, I would love to put a wrestling show together with the names that are on this this roster for tomorrow."
Yeah.
You could sell out any arena in the country with these guys. I mean, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of them. Unfortunately, you know what usually happens? You get there right before the event starts, and you go sit down at your table, and of course you're there. I'll be probably with good old JR, and thank you, sir. Just boarding my plane. Anyway, I'll be there with good old JR, and we'll sit down and we'll start signing, and we'll sign for 3 or 4 hours, and we won't even get an opportunity to see most of these other people. That's the problem with these things. And as soon as that's over, I got to get up and head straight out to Hamburg for the match tomorrow night. So I'll try my best to get around and see these guys, but it's not like everyone thinks. It's not like you get together and it's an old home reunion or anything like that.
Right. Well, that's unfortunate, but we do look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And Corey and myself will be there in Hamburg at the AXW show, so we'll be looking forward to seeing you there as well.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to being there and looking forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah, and hopefully, I heard Shane Douglas is on the show. Hopefully, he doesn't give you too much crap.
No, Shane and I go back a long way. I don't think it'll be a problem.
Okay. All right, man. Well, we'll let you board your plane, and I'm on
already. But I need these people are looking at me funny as I'm talking to you guys.
All right, man. We'll
animate that.
We'll let you go. Thank you very much for calling in. Thank you so much for calling in. Sir. It was a pleasure to be speaking to you.
Thank you, King.
Okay, thank you, guys.
All right, take care. Jerry the King Lawler, everybody. Woo! That was awesome.